you for being here. Thanks so much for coming. Now, Emily, you had an interesting weekend.
Oh, yes.
It was your son's 11th birthday.
Yes.
His party. What went down? What did we do?
We did laser tag.
Ooh,
Laser
huge
tag.
move. Huge move. How was it? How was it?
It was fun. I got to play one of the rounds.
Okay.
But, yeah, they put me with, like, the young kids. Like the 3-year-olds and 6 and 7-year-olds. I was like...
You mean on your team?
My team. So we broke up into 3 teams.
Yes.
I'll break it down.
Yes.
We broke up into 3 teams.
Yeah.
And they put me with, like, the little kids.
Right.
So then I felt, like, extra competitive. Okay. And I felt like I could... But then you start feeling bad because you're, like, really... taking out some children.
You're just like nailing the kids.
They're older, but they're 10 and 11. They're, you know, I don't know.
I show no mercy.
I got number 3. I was number 3.
You were third?
I was third in the whole thing. My team lost.
Yeah.
But I was number 3 overall. Individually. I mean, the first time I played, I only scored better than my friend who was colorblind, who couldn't tell who was on.
Couldn't tell who was a red team or green team. Right. Wow.
I only was better than he was the bottom, and I was right there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Keegan, you've had quite the time. You and Jordan Peele, you reunited at Toronto Film Festival.
Yes.
Yeah,
we did.
I don't know when the last time you were together, but what's it like when you get together?
It's like being with your brother. It's like being with your little brother who you like, as opposed to the other little brother.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like being with the little brother that you like, and it feels like also being with your dance partner again. You know what I mean? It's like, and you kind of get to pick. We were doing press and then doing bits during the press, and you kind of get to pick. There's like little moments, like football plays. We're just going, you want to do a Lindy Hop Smoke 60? Okay, yeah.
Tango.
Okay, we'll do a tango. Let's do a little tango. Yeah, I'll do a tip. Oh, no, you'll lead. You
Dip.
lead. Right, you dip. I'll dip. You know, so it feels like a dance. It's really, it's really.
I mean, you've
lovely.
got such an immense friendship and chemistry. I didn't know this until today that you were roommates when you moved to LA.
Yes.
What was it like? What's Jordan like as a roommate? Is he good?
He's lovely. It's like Alice. It's like living with Alice in the Brady Bunch. Right. But with you know, like with Afro. You know. And no, I loved. We lived on Gardner Street.
Oh.
And I used to, and I used to
Gardner.
like, you know Gardner Street, right?
Who doesn't know Gardner?
Come on, who doesn't know Gardner?
You know.
I don't.
You know Gardner.
You don't know Gardner?
I've lived here 8 years.
I've never been on Gardner.
Not that far from here. Okay.
I don't know where I am.
I was on we lived on Gardner Street, right down the street from Hollywood Center Studios, where we shot Mad TV.
Yeah.
And it was really lovely. Jordan and I kind of would wash the dishes and clean the house a bit in lieu of rent. And which see how understanding he was. And then because he didn't drive, you know, he grew up in New York City and then he moved to Amsterdam and then moved to Chicago. He never had a driver's license his whole life. So he would move close to the studio. So we lived close to the studio, and we would take these lovely walks. We would walk to the studio in the morning to go to work and have nice chats. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say he made you drive him.
Oh, that too. There was that. Yes.
That
Sometimes I was the chauffeur. Yes.
Okay.
But I remember I always thought if he got another job at a different studio, was he going to have to move? He was going to have to move.
Yeah, he'd have to move.
Yeah.
I mean, Emily, your father, Caleb Deschanel, is a very well-known cinematographer and director. And so when you were a kid, you moved around basically all over the world for his work, right? Where was the most interesting place that you moved to because of your father's work?
Probably the Seychelles off the coast of Africa, like right off from where Kenya is. So yeah, we lived on like the 3rd biggest island there, which was like a mile long, La Digue. And we went to school there, we did everything. There was like one shop that had just like a few items, and sometimes they'd be out of flour or whatever. And that also was a video shop, which had 3 VHS tapes.
Ooh, go on, what were
they? Were like an animated Watership Down with rabbits, I think. I think that's what it was. This is Spinal Tap.
Oh,
Still
wow.
one of my favorite movies because I've seen it a million times. And it's also an amazing film. And then the second half of Gandhi.
Just the second VHS.
Still never seen the first half. Still never seen the first half.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was we went to school there. We did everything. It was I had a boyfriend, but I didn't know he was my boy. And then everyone just told me he was my boyfriend.
Yeah, right.
I was like, okay. Michelle was my boyfriend.
Now, Keegan, let's talk about your brilliant show, Reboot. For anyone who hasn't caught it yet, tell us what it's about and who you play.
So, Reboot is it's one of these. It's a show about a show, and so at the center of the show is a fictional sitcom that existed in the late '90s and early 2000s. This kind of schlocky sitcom, and what happens is there's this young lady who wants to reboot the sitcom, and so what she's doing now is bringing back all the old cast members and to gather them to do the new show, and a lot of things go awry. Because they've not seen each other in 15 years, they have complicated relationships with each other, they don't like each other, but she's trying to reassemble them, and everybody comes for different reasons. And that's, so the show's called Reboot, and one of the interesting things about it is they're rebooting the show for Hulu. And our show, Reboot, is on Hulu.
Right. It's a brilliant premise.
Yeah, it's really a neat premise.
It's a really, really smart premise. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
must get asked all the time about a Bones reboot. It's a huge show to bring that show back.
Yeah.
Would you do it? Is that something you'd consider?
Yeah, I don't know. Sure. I mean, I'm not like, but my co-star, Dave Boreanaz, he said he wouldn't do that.
He did.
So I don't know. He changes his mind.
let's wait
I don't know. I'm never say never.
Let me tell you this.
That's right.
If SEAL Team gets cancelled,
He may be available.
my hunch is Boreanaz changes his mind on that pretty quick. That's my hunch. That's my hunch.
Right.
My hunch.